the biggest learning that I've done as a parent is to never be proud of my children. And that sounds totally bizarre, but it's a very disruptive thought that I think can actually inform some of the deeper stuff we've talked about in other parts of this show. But if you read any religious text and any spiritual teaching, you find out that pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. And yet, in an insidious way, as parents, we've been taught to use this term all of the time. In fact, it's really, put up there as this altruistic word of, I'm proud of my children. And I just want you to think about that as a parent right now, if you're listening, is like, how has the world programmed you to disempower your children? And the moment you feel pride for your children, you have taken away their power. Because the pride would suggest that in a narcissistic way, you created something there. And the pride would suggest that or have any inkling of what their full potential is or what their capacity is. And so it's been a really long journey for me to let go of that concept of pride for my children. And in so doing, I have found great freedom. And it's interesting how that word was not only poisoning my children, it was poisoning my mind to a sense of responsibility to help them achieve the thing that I would be proud of or whatnot. It's so freeing when we let go of these lexicons that keep us locked in a small relationship. And so instead of being proud of our children, we should be in awe of our children. And that's an exciting shift. If we are in awe of not just our children, but the new generation and our spouse, and if you feel like you're running out of the love that you feel right now, which I think happens to us all the time, because the experience of love, that kind of emotional trigger that can happen in there, lasts 7 seconds in the human brain. And it's easy to tap into. It's quite easy to engender that moment of love, but it's a moment. And so I was so relieved this past year when one of my colleagues, Patrick Gentempo, an incredible philosopher and a healer, did on a deep spiritual journey, went into a conversation with a deep intelligence, and it got recorded, and he came out of that conversation not having remembered it while he was on this spiritual path. And what got recorded is that humanity is killing itself for the fact that we keep thinking that love is what everything's made out of, that everything's love, everything's about love. And the message was that everything is not made out of love at all, but everything is made out of beauty. And beauty is the fabric of the world and fabric of the reality we live in. And if you see the beauty, you will experience love. And that was such a huge relief to me. And so we don't have to love our spouse. We need to see the beauty in our spouse. And if you'll see the beauty in your spouse, you will be overwhelmed with love. And if you see the beauty in your children, you will be overwhelmed with love. But if you go out and try to love and be proud of your children today, you will be an exhausted soul at the end of the day. And so find the beauty and the awe and let go of the pride and love.